Hello, Len from Remake here. Today I'm going to show you a simple way to take in waistbands. Sometimes it's very hard because jeans waistbands are bulky and taking a whole band off is not an option. It's best to use the strongest thread you can find. If you can match the colour, great, but if not, it'll be hidden anyway, so stronger is better than matching. I've already measured what I need to take in, and I want to take in altogether 5 centimetres. So I'm going to take 2.5 centimetres from each side seam. And you'll see on this that the seam is quite bulky. So I'm going to start behind the bulky. I've put my measure behind the bulky bit of the seam. And I'm underneath the waistband and I'm measuring 2.5 centimetres. So then I want to taper this away, and I'm thinking down to here, maybe to where the top of the pocket is. So I'm going to draw a line which will be a taper, getting less and less till it gets again behind the waistband, the bulky bit of the side seam, up to the waistband. Okay, quite difficult to see, but we only need a good indication. I've loaded my needle with a double thread long enough to do the sewing, and I've put a knot in the bottom. I'm going to start by going in at the marking, that side of the bulky bit, but coming up from underneath. Find the spot, I'm coming up there, and then I'm going to go down a small stitch and coming up, heading away from the seam, following the tapered line. Just a small up, down at the bulky edge again, and coming up. So it's a single stitch and they're more or less parallel. I'm going down again on the taper line and coming up a bit further along on the taper line. So I'm doing that down and back up. And you see the line going towards the wider bit at the top. Right, so here we are with all the stitching done. It goes wider and wider to the top, and I've just have the thread just left there. So now I'm going to pull it together, and for that I'm using a kebab stick, but anything that's not sharp so that you don't cut the thread, but is pointy so that you can get into the gap. So I'm going to start pulling it up from the bottom. If I try to pull from the top, the chances are that at some point it will break the thread. But if I do it a bit at a time, and I pull the first one and then tighten the second one, and then the next one, and the next one, you see how it's pulling the fabric together. So further up and up, up, all the way to the top. Now as you get to the top, obviously the waistband is quite bulky, so you need to make that into like a pleat and just keep pulling the thread and pulling the last thread that way, so you have it nice and flat to there. And now stitch a pleat actually into the waistband. So we've got it nice and flat, and this is going to be a little pleat, and the way that I would do that is just a couple of stitches on the bottom side and the same on the top. And so that's the finished article. Do the other side to match and you'll be able to wear the trousers quite comfortably from now on. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye now.